Hola everyone, Chef Mario is back. ¿Cómo estás? So, in case you couldn't tell by my gorgeous Spanish in the beginning, today we're going to be making some tacos, which is actually a recipe that's been requested for a long time. So, without further ado, let's jump into the ingredients. Alright everyone, so this recipe has a lot of ingredients, so make sure you grab a pen and a paper to write this down. So what you'll need is some taco shells of your choice, some meat of your choice, some lettuce, a tomato, some cheese of your choice, some olives, and the condiments of your choice. And also, some utensils that you'll need later are a cheese grater and a knife. And we also got a cutting board here too. So without further ado, I'm gonna start getting the vegetables prepped and everything like that. So yeah, let's do that right now. Alright everyone, so as you can see, we got the lettuce, tomatoes, and the cheese all cut up and stuff like that. So now we're gonna start thawing out the hamburger meat. Alright everyone, so as you can see, the hamburger is in the microwave and we're gonna thaw it out for 20 minutes. And just a quick side note, so remember how I said in a previous recipe that like if you're thawing out meat like chicken and steak and salmon and stuff like that, that stuff you only have to thaw out, start at 20 minutes and then check it after 10 minutes and it should be thawed out already. That is with chicken, steak, and salmon. But for hamburger meat and turkey and stuff like that, that stuff you gotta thaw out the full 20 minutes. So just a little disclaimer for people who might get confused. Chicken, steak, and salmon only takes 10 minutes, and hamburger meat and turkey takes the full 20 minutes. So without further ado, let's get to thawing this stuff out. Alright everyone, so that's going to be thawing out and I'll catch back with you when it's done. Alright everyone, so as you can see, the meat is all thawed out and stuff like that, but we're not done yet. So now, the next thing we gotta do is we gotta put it in the air fryer. So let's do that right now. Alright everyone, so as you can see, we got the taco meat in the air fryer. Now, just a disclaimer, I've never cooked taco meat this way before because I always do it in the frying pan. So you know, this is a new experiment for me, so let's see how it turns out. Oh, and also, if you want to do this, another disclaimer, you gotta take the top, whatever it's called, you gotta take that off, and you gotta put the taco meat in the actual basket with the top off. Because if you do it with the top on, then like, you know, meat is gonna fall through and stuff like that. So just remember, when you're cooking taco meat this way, you gotta take the top off and put the meat in the basket. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook this for 400 degrees on 10 minutes. So let's do this. Alright everyone, so that's going to be cooking and I'll let you all know when it's done. Alright everyone, so as you can see, this is 7 minutes in right now. So you know, so this is the part where we start chopping it up to see if there's any uncooked parts. And as you can see, there's a little bit uncooked parts, like right there and right there, and yeah, stuff like that. So now what we're gonna do, let me just let go of the spatula. So now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drain the grease and we're gonna put it back in for the rest of the 3 minutes right there. So let's do that right now. All right, everyone. So now what we're gonna do? So we let it cook for 1 more minute more. So now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add our taco seasoning, and we're also gonna add a 1.5 cup of water. Now the reason why I'm doing 1.5 is because normally for a pound of hamburger you only have to do 1 cup, but you know I got a little bit more here, so you know I gotta add a little bit more water. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright everyone, so as you can see we got our seasoning mix and 1.5 cups of water. Now when you're mixing, pay attention. When you're mixing this, you gotta mix it very carefully because we got holes on the side of our air fryer. Your air fryer might not have this, but ours does. So we gotta mix very carefully to prevent any water from leaking out. So let's do this right now. Alright everyone, so as you can see we got it all mixed together and stuff like that. So now we're gonna put it back in. So let's do this right now. Alright everyone, and I'll let you all know when it's done. Alright everyone, so here's the finished product of the taco meat. So as you can see, it works pretty well in the air fryer, but the only downside is that I thought I was only supposed to put it in for 1 more minute. But it turns out it didn't get hot enough. So instead of putting it back in for 1 more minute, put it back in for 4 more minutes, and that's the right temperature right there. So everything is done. So now all we gotta do is the fun part. Now it's time to assemble my very own taco. Alright everyone, now it's time for the moment that I've been waiting for. Time to assemble my very own tacos. So the first thing they need to add is your meat. Alright everyone, so once you have that, the next thing they have to add is your cheese. Alright everyone, so once you have that, the next thing they have to add is your lettuce. Alright everyone, so the next step is to add your tomatoes. Alright everyone, so once you have that, the next thing they have to add is your olives. Alright everyone, so once you have that, the final thing that you need to add is the condiment of your choice. In this case, I'm using Tapatio. Alright everyone, and your finished product should look something like this. So as you can see, we got 3 booyah tacos for you guys. So yeah, and some of the ingredients, like, you know, spilled off the side, but it doesn't matter. Tacos, they always do that. So yeah, so anyway, there's the 3 booyah tacos. So yeah, this is another episode of Cooking with Chef Mario Down, and I really hope this was worth the wait, guys. I really do, because a lot of you guys requested this. So yeah, so I hope it was worth the wait. So yeah, that's another episode of Cooking with Chef Mario Down, and as always, if you guys have any more requests, please put them in the comments down below, and I will shout you out, and your name will be credited at the beginning of the next video. So yeah. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Chef Mario is out. Adios.